Hey, welcome to Back to School Night. This is Lisa Blake. I'm here for 8th grade core exploratory. Everything, of course, is different, right? It's all so different than what we started with last year. So welcome. Thank you for tuning in. 21st century learning. So when I went through, I used this slideshow for a couple years, and I kind of amend and fix it and change it every year. And as I went through this year, I was like, okay, some of this applies, but a whole lot of it doesn't. So you'll see as we go through that's how I took it on. I kind of made a few amendments. But this 21st century learning idea, for this year especially, distance learning is even more of a big deal. This idea of 21st century learning, right? Thinking and problem solving, information, communication, interpersonal and self-directional skills, totally different this year than they've ever had to be, and actually more important than ever. Self-direction is really part of virtual learning in a huge and different way. So that is sort of that 21st century piece. What's new-ish? I looked at this slide and like everything on there, I'm like, well, pretty much everything is new-ish. I truly felt like a first-year teacher this year. Only this is my 30th first day of school. So having to redo this whole thing 30 years later, I'm a little slow. It takes me a little bit longer, but it's all amazing. And I'm learning new stuff, and your kids are learning new stuff, and they're incredible at it. Think, talk, think, write. That's still very much how we are doing business, right? It's all about that thinking and communicating what they're thinking. Now more than ever, mastery versus complication and completion is really the point of everything that we are doing. Giving the students experiences that show mastery, that expand their thinking, that expand their experience with the topics. Curriculum. What talk is at the center of everything that we do. We read, we write, we do American history, but talk is really and truly where we are in the middle of everything, which of course presents a very unique challenge for distance learning, because how do we talk to each other through a video camera all the time? How do we do think, pair, share, which I do every single day, and we've had to find new ways to do that. So we're practicing with our raising hands, we're practicing with breakout rooms. All of those things will show up in the curriculum. This is a huge list of curriculum, and this and really and truly is what we do all the time. And again, all that pairing presents some challenges. Project-wise, you will notice things that are much more individual, much more self-directed, much more choice-focused with distance learning than you would have noticed in the classroom. Although I do introduce a lot of things that are choice in the classroom as well. Writing, we do that whole list of different things. Everything from essays, short little power writes, longer reading journals, all of it. Our texts, Amplify is our core curriculum text, but so let's see, the difference between Amplify. So somebody explained to me that Amplify is really about learning to read and think about reading. So for me, Amplify doesn't really have the heart stories in the way that novels and short stories do. So that's why we do a combination of both. We'll do a couple of novels in the year. We'll probably start with Whirligig by Paul Fleischman. We'll do Fahrenheit 451 for sure at some point in the year. And then I'm going to introduce a third novel this year. I'm not sure what I'm going to do. I might do Hate You Give. I might do Posted. I've got a couple of choices kind of percolating on the edges. So we will definitely be doing a new contemporary novel at some point in the year. We use all kinds of input for nonfiction, things like Newsella, things like Common Lit, things like ReadWorks, all of those things to gather up some short stories and a lot of current event reading to connect our history to what's going on in the world right now. Reader's Workshop, this is a huge idea. Individual choice reading. Your students need to be reading all the time. All the time. Self-chosen reading, high interest. People come to me with questions about, shouldn't they be reading such and such a level? I don't care what level they're reading. They need to be reading self-chosen words on pages with or without pictures. I have a lot of my students that really like graphic novels. All of it is good. High interest, what they enjoy taking in, what they can learn from, what connects to their heart. That's the book part that's important. We will be doing some grammar, vocabulary, Latin roots. You'll see those things in the year as well. Tests. So everything about tests is different this year, right? We're still trying to figure out all of this testing business. Constitution test will happen, but we're not sure how it's going to happen. We might break it down into smaller parts. We might have the kids only do them on school-issued computers, and then we'll figure out the ones that aren't using school-issued computers. There's all kinds of things in the works that we are still figuring out on how to do that. We will, however, be taking on the Constitution. Also, let's see, summatives. So you'll see a lot more mastery, a lot of project mastery, a lot of activity mastery, but a lot fewer summative test kinds of things, because those are just not practical to do in the distance learning environment as well as they are in the classroom. Quality considerations. Pen, please. No pen. But analog assignments do have to have pictures taken. I really, really, really encourage kids to take analog assignments every opportunity that they get. If you don't have a printer, we can even print them here and have you come and pick things up if that's what's going to make it more accessible for your student. I really like giving kids opportunity to work not on a computer. So analog assignments have to have a picture taken and loaded into Google Classroom. That's really easy if they do it on their phone. So they need to have the Google Classroom app on their phone to do that. It's a lot simpler to do it than to do it on a computer. The 88% rule, this is a big one. The kids are always concerned. So the thing is, if you do an assignment, you follow the directions, you get everything reasonably correct, that's an 88%. It's not an A. I expect them to go beyond, to show me some serious thinking, some thoughtfulness in order to get an A. Just getting it done. I can't tell you how many times I've had kids say, but I did everything. Well, yeah, you did do everything, but you didn't show me any degree of thoughtfulness. You didn't show me any degree of commitment to the process. You didn't show me any creativity. You didn't show me things like thinking beyond the obvious. That's how you get an A. Late work. I do take late work, but I do take percentages and points off, and the percentage and points off goes higher the more late work they turn in. So early on, I'm pretty forgiving, but if I see a pattern of late work, then the penalty for that late work gets higher as the trimester goes along. Management and organization. Notebook. They have a notes book. We set it up yesterday in class, and they need to have that notes book with them every single day for core, online Zoom, and analog, because they'll be using information in it every single day. Classroom is the point of contact for all things. Same with calendars. They need to link those calendars to their own calendars so that they are constantly getting updates from the Google Classroom for assignments, for things that need to be turned in. And everything will appear on Classroom, and everything gets turned in on Classroom. I won't accept any turn-ins through email. I won't accept any turn-ins through just sharing documents with me. Has to be turned in on the Classroom. And if they have complications with that, then we need to figure out like how to make that work for them. Okay, here's my little cartoon. So I've shown this cartoon seriously for 25 years, no joke. Elementary school students, as their parents see them, as their teachers see them, as they see themselves. I think that's hilarious. High school students, as their parents see them. High school students as their teachers see them, and of course, high school students as they see themselves. And then middle school students. I've taught middle school for all 30 of my years in education. People are like, how have you stayed with middle school for 30 years? And this is why. This is as their parents see them. This is as their teachers see them. And this is as they see themselves. Middle school students, I absolutely love teaching middle school. It's why I'm here still after 30 years. Communication, the classroom, and the calendar cannot emphasize that enough. It's absolutely the single point of information for how assignments will be dished out. Email. There's my email address, lblake@eurekausd.org. It's best if you type that to me directly in your Gmail client instead of going through the school website, because on the school website, you have to type in your own return address. It's not automatic. And if you do something wrong, that I can't reply to you. Okay, so going straight to email is the better idea. There's the Olympus website. My page is on there. It's not very updated, and our sites are in flux right now because we're switching between Catapult and sites. My best source of information is still Google Classroom. So, secrets of success. This is what the adults in their lives can do to help them be more successful. Guide their reading choices. The very big dilemma of 8th graders is that they can read at perhaps a higher level than they should be reading. My own mother censored nothing that I read. And then as I got to be a parent of a junior high child, 2 junior high children who could read very well, I was like, oh my God, she never censored anything I read. I can't believe she let me read that. But that's what happens. So you are the best guide for what your child can read. Let them stretch, let them choose things that they enjoy, but you are the best judge of that. Be an idea bank, help them think creatively about assignments. I always want something that's different and outside of the box. Keep in touch, trust but verify. If you are having questions about what's going on or something doesn't make sense, send me an email. Let's get it figured out. Long-term planning. This especially applies to things like reading journals and projects. There won't be a ton of them, but there are going to be enough that organization gets to be a piece. Extra credit. They can only do extra credit if they don't have missing assignments. And those 2 assignments, I have 2 standing extra credit assignments. They're on my website, and they can do them at any time during the trimester, and they only count if they don't have any missing assignments. Analog when possible. Help your kids go offline. Trying to do things offline is just always going to be better when there's so much online happening. Finally, no bailouts. This is a really good time for them to learn to fail and how to come back from that in their grades. So that's all I have. Thank you for coming and watching. Have a great year as a Spartan parent, and hail Spartans.